Okay, here's the thing. Your home's exterior is the first thing people see, but is it saying what you want it to say? Or something like... Choosing the wrong exterior colors can make it look outdated, mismatched, or just disgusting. But don't worry, I've got 5 exterior color pairings that will have your home looking timeless and modern at the same time. It's getting warmer outside, exterior painting season is upon us, and I've been flooded with questions from my audience regarding exterior color combinations. What should I paint my home, whether it's the main body of the house, the trim, and accent colors for the front door, or maybe some shutters. I've helped homeowners choose the perfect paint colors for years. So today, I'm sharing my go-to combinations for 2025. Whether you want something bold and dramatic, or soft and inviting, these Benjamin Moore color pairings will help your home stand out for all the right reasons. We've been offering custom color palettes and people have been loving them. It's a more affordable alternative to traditional online color consultations. So if you're looking for some color inspiration, check out the link below, whether you need a 3-color palette or 6+ colors. And as part of the service, I even send you a personalized video explaining the color choices, so everything is crystal clear. Check out the link below if you want to purchase one today. People have been loving them. We've been doing so many of them recently. So let's get into it. My first mini color palette or color combination is called Modern Classic, and it features an off-white with a bold bit of contrast. So starting with the main body of the home, whether it's siding or maybe some stucco, or even painted brick, I would recommend White Dove as a warm, inviting white. The reason you want to go with warm whites when used outside is because the sun is a very bright source of light that is cool leaning. So you want to counteract that blueness with a little bit of warmth in whatever off-white you're using. And White Dove has just a nice amount of it without going too far into straight up yellow territory. Now, what about the trim color? We're starting with white on the main body. For the trim, I'd recommend something like Onyx for a deep, true black for extremely sharp contrast. This is going to give you a similar effect to white trim with a really dark wall inside, but in reverse on the outside. And I think Onyx is a great choice for that high contrast, dark, deep trim color. Now, what about the accent color? If you wanted a very striking front door, there's almost no better option to me than Caliente, which is a vivid, bold, rich, saturated, electric red that I am obsessed with. Not only in the front door, you can use this on smaller accent pieces here and there. I would not recommend this on the garage door, for example. You probably want to stick to Onyx there as well, or something similar, maybe a lighter variation. But Caliente is so bold, you want to make sure you're using it for a very specific purpose, and in this purpose, front door is a good choice. So this combination is the ultimate classic with a modern edge. White Dove is one of the most versatile whites out there, not too stark, not overly creamy or yellow, making it perfect from everything from farmhouses to mid-century homes. The Onyx trim adds a bold architectural contrast, keeping the look very crisp and high-end. And for that front door, Caliente is that secret weapon. A rich, warm red, adding a pop of personality and curb appeal without feeling overly trendy. And apparently in some parts of the world, like Scotland, a red front door means you paid off your mortgage. So either you have, or you can pretend like you did. All right, combination number 2, earthy and organic, warm neutrals done right. We are loving the warm neutral craze right now on the interior side of things, but why not bring that same energy outside to the main body of your home in the form of Grant Beige, which is a versatile warm neutral with a good amount of depth. And just to remind you, sunlight is very bright, and this means that colors will seem lighter because of how illuminated they are. So you want to have something in this case with a little bit of body, and Grant Beige does that very, very well. Now the trim in this color palette is going to be more on the light side of things. In fact, it's going to be very light. Simply White is a clean, soft white with a touch of that yellow warmth in it, but because you're working with other warm colors surrounding it, you want something that's going to tie in a little more seamlessly. And Simply White, Grant Beige, very, very easy to pair colors. They coordinate really well with one another. And because your trim isn't taking up a ton of surface area, you won't have so much of that bright white bouncing off the house into your eyes. It's just going to be a nice little outline for all of your trim on your home. Now, what about an accent color? In this palette, I would recommend something like Tate Olive, which is a muted, earthy green, obviously an olive type color. And the reason this works is it's more of a muted, relaxed, understated accent color that will fit a little more seamlessly with the other options. I also think green is an especially easy color to use outside because of all the greenery that you're probably surrounded by, especially if you're in more of a suburban area or if you're lucky enough to be in the rurals. I love me some trees, some fully grown mature trees. But because this color isn't as punchy as Caliente, for example, you can maybe use it more than just the front door, potentially garage door, but definitely on shutters, maybe even some architectural accents that you want to bring attention to without having it overbearing and too powerful. Tate Olive can do a great job at doing that. I like this combination because neutrals to me are always in, and this palette brings in a bit of that warmth and natural influence that naturally works really well outside. Grant Beige is a sophisticated neutral that adapts beautifully to different lighting, so even if it's cloudy or overly sunny, it's not too gray or not too yellow. It's just the right balance, and it's going to work no matter what the weather forecast is telling you. Simply White is the ideal trim color here for me because it's keeping the palette fresh and modern, and there is just that touch of warmth to help tie things together in a beautiful way. And Tate Olive as an accent color for shutters and the front door adds an organic, nature-inspired touch that blends really, really well with landscaping, especially if you have stone details on the house itself, or maybe some big armor stones surrounding it in your garden. I think it's a perfect choice to tie everything together. Number 3 is Coastal Cool. Some fresh and breezy blues. Blue has always been kind of the unsung hero of fun exterior paint colors. So I wanted to include a palette that incorporates them in a beautiful way. So the first one is going to be the main body color in this palette, and it's Van Dusen Blue, which is a rich and refined blue, a great amount of saturation that I think would look wonderful outside. This is one of the first colors I think of when I think beach house, coastal vibes. Basically my dream home, let's be honest. Now, the trim color to coexist with this one is going to be Super White, which is one of my favorite bright, crisp whites. Not the brightest white out there, but it's close, and it just gives you something very fresh feeling that is going to work awesomely with blues and our accent color, which is coming up in a second. To me, Super White just fits a nice balance of clean and bright, but not overpowering. And the accent color here is going to be a little more mellow comparatively. It's Coventry Gray, which is a soft neutral gray. Another one of those options that allows you to be a little more flexible in how you want to use it. You can even use it to feature certain parts of the home. Maybe the chimney is slightly different. So in that case, you can have it coexisting with the blue, but not popping too much. And I could see this as a garage door color if you wanted to do that. This is the perfect coastal inspired color palette, but don't think it's just for beach houses, even though I did mention that earlier. Van Dusen Blue has a deep, sophisticated look that doesn't feel overly bright or juvenile like some other blues can. It has just a great amount of depth that works really well outside. And then you have Super White on the trim, keeping it fresh and clean. Coventry Gray just gives you a nice, grounded, more understated neutral accent that works on doors, shutters, garage doors, a bunch of other things too. So you can be more flexible in how you use it. Next up is Timeless Charcoal. Modern, but never trendy. The first one is one of my absolute favorite colors to use inside the home, but also outside. It's Kendall Charcoal, which is a deep, balanced, earthy, taupey gray. It kind of reminds me of soil a little bit, and I mean that in a good way. It's wonderfully beautiful, and even though it is super dramatic inside, the edge is taken off slightly when used on an exterior surface like the main parts of your home. All that sunlight is coming in and really lightening it up, or at least how it appears on the outside. For your trim, I would maybe go with something like White Heron, which is a slightly warm white, a little more delicate than the others. I find it has enough saturation to it where it's going to separate itself from a Simply White, for example. I think it's a good fit here. And then, of course, Dragon's Breath is going to be the accent color. Really going deep with these dark, rich, brown, charcoal colors, very moody, rich, beautiful color. And I do see a lot more people embracing dark options, especially darker neutrals like these colors on the exterior of the home. And I think it would look amazing in the right circumstance. I like this palette because dark exteriors are having a major moment, but Kendall Charcoal is one of the few deep colors that won't feel dated in 5 years. It has become a bit of a staple in the world of design. It's a strong, rich gray that adds depth without looking harsh or unnatural. And white heron keeps the trim soft and sophisticated, avoiding that super jarring, high contrast look that brighter whites can do. And then dragon's breath, kind of a secret weapon. I've talked about it before on this channel, but it's a deep brown with a touch of warmth, making it the perfect front door color for added drama. Just a deepening of that overall dark theme. We then have warm and welcoming, the new neutrals. So on the main body of the home is a very popular color on the interior side of things, Revere Pewter. It is a legendary grayish that adapts to different lighting, and while sometimes it can look a little more green leaning, I think that works to its benefit when used outside. On the trim, I wanted to go with Swiss Coffee, which is a creamy, warm white, really bright, fun, and energetic, and just a touch of that comforting warmth that will make the whole look feel a little more pleasant. And then your accent color here is Wrought Iron, a deep, rich charcoal that I love, extremely contrasty, but not so much where it's a deep jet black. There is a little bit of a toned down effect that I think makes it such a strong choice as an accent. And this is one absolutely front door worthy, garage door worthy. Can't go wrong with off black outside. If you're looking for a safe, sophisticated, and always on trend palette, I find this is the one. Revere Pewter is a classic for a reason. It adapts beautifully to different lighting, to different materials that might be around it, sometimes leaning more gray, sometimes leaning a bit warmer. Swiss Coffee adds that beautiful warmth to your trim without feeling too overly yellow, and Wrought Iron is that perfect contrast color. It's deep, but not too harsh, making it a great choice for doors, shutters, and garage doors, like I mentioned. And that's it.